The Palace of Westminster is home to one of the busiest parliamentary institutions in the world. Thousands of people work here and visit every day, and millions of tourists are drawn to its iconic splendor. Completed in the mid-1800s, many of the palace's features have never undergone major renovation. So what's being done to tackle any problems?
Repairing the roofs is a major logistical undertaking. There's a huge amount of scaffolding that has to be put up in order to erect a gantry of sufficient strength to move the tiles. This whole procedure is quite noisy, and we're limited to the noisy works when the houses are not sitting. Each of these, as you can see, is very large. It's 750 square, about 15 millimeters thick. Each one weighs 75 kilos, has to be gently lowered to the ground, to be basically sandblasted, assessed for condition, and at that point we find out just what needs to be done to them. Some tiles cannot be rescued, and we simply have to recast them. And the technology of casting a cast iron slab that thin is quite complex. This is the result of phase one, where it's been completely refurbished and it looks absolutely fantastic, exactly as it should be, and probably even better than it did in the beginning. We've also managed to rationalize the fire escapes across the roof and the access to it. After all this work, we think it will last well in excess of 100 years. We're now about to start phase two of the cast iron roof works, which will go on for several years yet, we think another 8 or 10 years. There are a number of towers gracing the silhouette of the Palace of Westminster, many of which are made of cast iron, and this is J Tower, and you can see where we've had to put in temporary bracing on the pinnacles on the corner, which have suffered from rust jacking and were actually about to fall off. Each of these pinnacles weighs probably in excess of 75 kilos and would cause a great deal of damage if it were to fall off.
However limited, this approach must continue until a longer-term plan for the palace's restoration and renewal is agreed. To find out more, please watch the other videos in this series.